Hello there, everybody. It's been a while since last time, I guess. This is gonna be a new sort of video that I'm gonna try out just for the hell of it. And I also got this angle and this angle. I've gone into a bit of a rabbit hole regarding audio production, and since the band Kiss released their landmark album Destroyer 50 years ago, 50 years, oh my gosh, I decided to sort of dig deep into the audio production of that album. And I've done a bit of a half-assed version of the song King of the Nighttime World, which I thought that we would go through, and how I got the sounds that I got. So let's hop into Logic and see what it's all about. Okay, now we're back in Logic, and I've mostly tried to keep this as either stock Logic plugins or free VST plugins, since that's easier for you who's watching this to follow and sort of make your own version of it, sort of ish thing. So for those who don't know, Destroyer was produced by Bob Ezrin, and when Kiss brought their demos to Bob in the late summer of 75, the songs were fairly simple, to say the least. They were very much, two guitars, bass and drums and vocals. There was not a lot of deep sort of production value to the demos. And Bob really took these songs and made them something else completely. In often case, he used sound effects like you hear in God of Thunder with the kids shouting at each other. And also he used quite a lot of reverb and delay and sort of spatial effects to make it sort of a larger than life, pun intended, sound image, if you will. And he used, in conjunction with the reverb, he also layered their instruments a lot of times with pianos, which I'm gonna show you in a couple of minutes. But also, there is a synth part in God of Thunder which is really low in the mix. And in the song Flaming Youth, there is a organ that's played, and of course Great Expectations and Beth, you have a symphony orchestra. In the song Do You Love Me, there's tubular bells going on in the end. And yeah, Bob really took these songs and made them into something else. So let's dive into my version of the Destroyer production sound thing. Let's start off with the drums. I've used the retro rock kit, the plus setting, which is then routed out to 24 tracks. And let's just solo these. Now, these are played on my MIDI keyboard, not quantized and layered. mostly layered in the sort of choruses and the intro, because it's really hard to play the rolls on the snare and hi-hat and the kick at the same time. So it's not perfect, but Peter Criss wasn't a time-keeping master, to say the least. So this is what they sound like. I'm gonna play the intro and then a bit of the verse, because the beat is basically the same all throughout the song. So here we go. Hopefully it will record everything. Yeah, a bit lagging, but hey, it is what it is. So if we go on to the mixing view, I do have quite a bit of stuff on the drums to make them sort of match the overall hugeness, as you might call it, of the Destroyer drum sound. For the overheads, I'm using very simple sort of. A lot of the things that are on these tracks were there to start with when you pick the rock, retro rock plus or plus settings. So for a kick, it's an EQ, yeah, just boosting a little bit of top end and removing a bit of the rumble. A compression, vintage opto setting, a tube EQ, sort of emulating the, what is it, Pultec EQ, and a direction mixer just to make it spread a little more. And on the kick, oh wait, what happened? There we go. On the kick, it's an EQ, boosting some of the low end, removing a bit of mid, boosting just a teeny tiny top of the high end. And this, I realized, is sort of the magic sauce when it comes to the Destroyer drum sound, is the Quantec Room Simulator, which comes standard in Logic Pro. It's just a default preset, and you tune in the reverb level by taste. And I find that helps quite a bit. Let's just hear the kick on its own. Yeah, it sounds big. And as for the snare drum, it's just the standards or custom standard EQ for the retro rock snare and some distortion. And then I've used Universal Audio's tube compressor just to sort of squish it out a bit. And again, the Quantec Room. And the hi-hat, just a simple EQ. The toms, I didn't do much the stuff to. They're bussed out to, I think they're bussed to some of these channels over here. And the reverbs are just EQs and some space designers. Yeah, that's the drum part. And then there is a layer of piano. You can clearly hear the piano on songs like Detroit Rock City and God of Thunder in the chorus. So that's just playing, the piano is just playing this. Yeah, just following along with the root notes. And that's just the ivory and wood setting, which comes as standard on Logic. And then for the Paul Stanley part of the guitars, I've used the setting called Double Driven, which also is standard, but I've cranked up the high drive treble boost. And since these are mixed with this mixer thing, left and right, one of the high drives is going on the treble boost side and one is going on the full boost side. And I double tracked it with one going about 25% left and one 29 or 30% to the right, just to make it a bit more juicy. And they sound like this. And the thing to know is that my B string on my guitar is slightly down-tuned to make these sort of triads ring a bit more in tune with themselves, which is quite a big part in the Kiss catalog of riffs. Anywho, and along with that, I did Ace's part. So for Ace's guitar parts, which are fairly few in between on this song, I'm sure that they used, crank Marshalls, and I know they used Fender twin amps in the studio, but I've actually gone with a Dumble amp for Ace's tone. EQs are pretty just centered, and a Alnick speaker with a 87 on, Not a lot of gain, but again, the Quantec room and Ace parts sound like this. And there is I don't know if Bob used a organ or some sort of synth, or they sort of layered some guitar stuff during the B part of the verses, but I've used the dumble again, but I've actually took an octave pedal to sort of beef it up a bit, just to make it somewhat resemble the sound. I'm not sure. And I also doubled it with pianos and a mellotron from Logic, the mellotron brass setting. And that sounds like this. And together they sound like this. Now, it's not perfectly played, but it is what it is. And I think it sort of doubles the bass line, which Gene plays immaculate on this song. You get the point. And on that guitar, there's also the Quantec room. Now, the bass tone, I actually tried to resemble that as much as I can, because the bass line is very obvious on this song and on Destroyer as a whole. Although his bass tone on Destroyer, I don't know if it's the LeBeau bass he used, but it's very sort of muffled in a sense. It's very McCartney-esque. So I think I've gone with an Ampeg SVT, yes, with an 8x10 with a 414 on the cab, and I also used the LA28 compressor on it just to make it. So let's hear the verse, because that's where the bass really shines. Or let's hear the chorus, because that's where Gene really shines through. Very Beatle-esque. And together with the guitars and all the other stuff except for the drums, in the next chorus they sound like this. And then there's the guitar solo, which is again the dumble, and I put a high drive treble booster in front of the dumble and the Quantec room. And I've also done a acoustic guitar. I can't really tell if there is an acoustic guitar on the recording, but I wanted to sort of layer it just for the thing. So together with the bass, very top and heavy. Not a lot of bottom end or mids, just... That's a very Kiss sound to me, just to capture the top end of the acoustic guitars. And since I don't have an amp cranked in my apartment, the intro of the song is Ace just having a D or D flat and just letting it feed back as much as possible. Luckily, Logic has some loops, and I've used this live feedback guitar, and I've tuned it up 4 steps to match the key, and Quantec again, and that's just feeding back distortion. And for the vocals, now I'm not Paul Stanley. No one is Paul Stanley, especially Paul Stanley is 1976. So yeah, you you know that I don't consider myself a great singer. But for my vocal chain, I used a UAD 610B preamp and EQ on the vocal air setting. I used the LA2A compressor and the Quantec. And I also kicked in a little bit of tape delay just to make it move. And I'm sure that the original recording has Paul singing this 3 or 4 times. I just sang the verse and the main chorus melody one pass, and then I added the harmonies. And on the backups, it's just a 610, some Quantec, and I actually sort of changed the format on one of the backing vocals to make it a bit darker, because Gene, and 610 again on the backing vocals. So hopefully this will play right through. If not, I will put this on the end of this video. So please enjoy, and